This is Samsung's Galaxy Note 9 and it's probably the best phone they've ever made. But is it worth the premium price tag you pay for it? I'm gonna start with the phone's appearance. To anyone that's a little less tech savvy, the Note 9 looks a lot like the Note 8. It's a bit thicker and heavier, but because of its finish, you don't notice it. The chamfered aluminum edges and the all Gorilla Glass 5 clad also makes the phone feel extremely premium in the hand. Now, the phone comes in some pretty unique colors too. I've got the ocean blue here, which is my favorite, but you also get it in the lavender purple or midnight black finishes here in the local market. But that's not the only physical change. Samsung's repositioned the fingerprint scanner on the phone for easier accessibility, and the camera module sees a slight change too, with the middle camera not exactly being centered. While it doesn't bother my OCD too much, it may get a bit annoying for others. Now, I've been using the Note 9 for well over a few weeks, but I wanted to wait for my full review only because I wanted consumer software to be loaded on the phone. Samsung sent out a couple of updates so far, and to be honest, the phone's performed great. People seem to have a problem with Samsung's Experience UI or skin, but on the Note 9 I haven't had that trouble me. There's not been any lag, and I'm sure that's because of the Exynos 9810 octa-core processor on board and 6GB of RAM. Whether it's scrolling through social media or browsing the web, everything has this sense of fluidity. We've actually done a few speed tests to compare the Note 9's performance versus other phones, so you should definitely check those out for a better idea. But having said all of that, let's address the biggest thing on this phone: the display. We're looking at a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED curved screen. Quite honestly, it's one of the best I've seen on a mobile phone, but don't take my word for it, it's officially been proven as well. The edges off to the side add to this immersive effect, and while the phone doesn't have a notch, the bezels are slim enough to enjoy media on the device. By default, the resolution for the phone is set to Full HD+, but you can crank that to Quad HD+, which makes things look just a little bit sharper, although I didn't find myself using that too often. One thing I also want to point out here is how bright the screen gets. Using it outdoors is no problem in this dusty and sunny environment, and the IP68 water and dust resistance rating on the phone is an added bonus. Some might say the edges and the glass build makes the phone prone to damage or scratches over use, but I haven't had that. If anything, the device is quite robust feeling, and much to everyone's surprise, it still offers a 3.5mm headphone jack. And I like that. You have the flexibility to use any headphones you'd like or consume media via the dual stereo speakers on the phone, which are loud but not anything close to HTC's boom sound experience. I think one complaint I do have with the phone though is the glass. No, not that it's not strong, but the glass easily attracts a lot of smudges and accumulates dust, especially around the camera lens, which doesn't make for a good look, especially for a premium phone like this one. You either have to be constantly cleaning the phone or maybe go with a skin or case to avoid it altogether. And by doing that, you can maybe also avoid the phone slipping in your hands, because sometimes the size does get a bit overwhelming. What's also overwhelming though are the features you get with the Note 9. Bixby, which is Samsung's personal assistant, is newer and can be accessed via a dedicated hardware button. I personally didn't use this very often, but it does get you some useful information every now and then based on your preferences. And the other most notable one is of course the S Pen. This time the S Pen comes in different colors, which is a nice touch from Samsung. I found it really useful to take notes when on a call, but also just to use the phone generally. The pen in a way makes you lazy and you rely on it to scroll, type, and pretty much do everything on the phone, which seemed awesome. This S Pen also now supports low energy Bluetooth, which means you can use it for things like taking a picture from a distance or controlling presentations, and charging it is done by simply putting it back into the phone. A 30-minute use time from a 40-second charge. And that's exactly where the phone gets even more interesting. Samsung's PC-like experience in DeX has also come a long way. You now don't need a dock for it to work, and a simple wired USB-C to HDMI connection does the trick. The PC experience, quite frankly, is great for document editing or browsing if you have a screen handy. When in this mode, the phone acts like a mousepad that can be controlled with your fingers or the S Pen. And if you have to type, you can do so via the phone too, which basically removes the absolute need of owning a wireless keyboard and mouse. I'm really impressed by this, and I can see myself using my phone as my primary device when commuting or for meetings, and I think that's exactly what Samsung is hoping for with this one. After all, the phone can now also store up to 1 terabyte of data, 128 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes natively depending on the variant you pick up, and another 512 gigabytes via micro SD, which is more than what most laptops can store these days. So as you might be able to tell, this phone is a total package, and we're still not done. Having run intensive tasks like benchmarks, games like Fortnite, or when using decks, the most impressive thing about the phone is how cool it stays. This isn't just to praise Samsung for its cooling tech that they've pointed out, but I genuinely felt the phone stayed very cool throughout usage. Not to mention its battery. The Note 9 comes with a 4000 mAh cell, and since the latest phone update, the battery has been killing it. I haven't had to worry about charging the phone during the day, and if you do have to, it only still comes with Quick Charge 2.0, which is a shame, but you can always opt to charge it wirelessly as well. With that, I've covered most of everything I wanted to say about the Note 9. It truly is a worthy phone for its price, and if anything, I'd tell Samsung to stick at it and maybe work on not forcing Bixby's dominance too much and spend more time fine-tuning iris and face unlock features to make them more reliable. I purposely don't want to talk much about the dual 12 megapixel camera on the Note 9 because for one, it's a very small upgrade over the S9 Plus, and also we've done a variety of different tests with the Note 9 comparing the camera with other phones. So you're welcome to check those videos out on our channel as well. But back to the phone itself, I'm very impressed. The Note 9 currently is the best smartphone you can own. But is it a big enough upgrade over your S9 Plus, for example? Definitely not. But if you compare it with other flagships in the same price bracket, it offers considerable more value with features that others just straight up don't have. Thanks for watching our comprehensive video on the Galaxy Note 9. Let us know what you think about the phone down in the comments and make sure you subscribe for more videos in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.